Yeah, so I'm Monique. Have we met? I'm Monique.
I'm Eric.
Hi, Eric. Just kidding. So Rob and I, as you may or may not know, are coming together to do some videos to help out people of all kinds of backgrounds, but especially people in the ultimate world from hopefully being able to treat injuries and or prevent them in the future from happening at all. Really something that's close to my heart and passion. I'm a movement coach and I deal with a lot of people with old injuries and postural changes that can really hold us back or keep us in an emotional state of trepidation. And Eric knows a thing or two about that. Hey Eric, this is Eric. So Eric, tell us about anything about you.
I am a member of the Wilmington, Delaware, and Ultimate community. I have a twin brother. People often confuse the two of us. And I also enjoy running and just being involved in my community.
Cool. Yeah. What are some of the ways that Ultimate specifically can contribute to ankle injuries?
So I think there's three main ways that I would see an ankle injury. One of them is if you are running and you hit like a divot or something unexpectedly.
Change in terrain.
Yep, change in terrain. Another one is if you were to plant hard and change directions. That's a good opportunity. Change the direction or momentum. And if another one is if you like jump straight up and you come down and you land on someone's foot.
All right. Have you injured yourself?
Yes. A few years ago, about 8 years ago, I rolled over my ankle, tore the ligaments in my ankle, and since then I just always wear ankle braces on both of my ankles just to be safe.
Wait, so on your non-injured ankle?
On my non-injured ankle, I still
So basically, if it were a broken leg, you're still using crutches even though both your legs are in working order.
Yep, that's
okay.
right.
Interesting strategy.
Yeah, because it was so scary when it happened. I just didn't want it to happen again. So
I know that feeling.
And I'm totally fine to do trail running and do everything else, but I just don't trust my ankles for ultimate frisbee anymore. How
do you feel about that? So I don't know that not trusting your body parts is the best way to maximize their use. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I am passionate about is feet and ankles. I used to injure my ankles a lot, and then through learning different curriculum, I'm a barefoot training specialist among other certifications that I have. I've learned ways that you can actually strengthen the feet. Yeah. So you've injured your ankle before.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how that happened.
Oh man, it was so amazing. It was like the most intense thing you've ever seen. It was like universe point, which means like next point wins the entire championship. And I had this like huge guy covering me, but I'd been like playing so well that game. I said, "Hey, just loft it." This guy was like 6'5", and I just like straight up I got over him with room to spare, and I caught it and I came down in the end zone and I landed like on his foot, and like my ankle was just destroyed in that moment, but it was definitely worth it.
It was epic.
It took me like 9 months to recover.
So this is great also because you're a runner. So I love this. We'll be killing two birds with one stone. This will actually make you a more resilient runner. Mm-hmm. Because if you're anything like me, all of the things I like to do, I want to do them for as long as I possibly can. So we're going to actually work your foot. And what that will do is create a better intrinsic integrity in the muscles of the foot itself, because you have a bunch of muscles in your feet that tend to get overlooked in normal ways of training. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your right foot forward, and keep that knee bent, and then just drop your hands by your side so that you're not tempted to use your hands to get feedback.
Okay.
All right, so you're going to lift and spread all 5 toes. Find the big toe side of the foot, the pinky toe side of the foot, and the heel. So the two ends of the ball of the foot and the heel. So those 3 points are sort of like a triangle. You feel all of them touching the floor? Okay, cool. So now what you're going to do is you're going to drop the toes down, focusing mainly on the big toe being added as like a 4th point. And just do that a few times. So initially you can lift and spread the toes and then place them back down, and then coordinate it with your breath. It's one of the best ways to do it because then we engage some of the physics of our movement. So when our muscles of the foot engage to lift the arch, ideally there's also a lift of the pelvic floor muscles. So you'll exhale as you press those 4 points into the floor, and then you'll inhale as you relax. And then you don't have to keep lifting and spreading the toes. You can just do it from a point of being relaxed to pressurizing to the floor. So do that a few times.
Okay, so maybe we can stop for a second.
Yeah, that's fine. I get fast sometimes.
No. So I just don't understand as
That's
fast
fine.
as you explain. Okay,
No,
so
that's all right. So you're going to
Can
start.
you show me what it looks like?
Yeah. So you're going to lift and spread all 5 toes. You're going to find the big toe side of the ball of the foot, the pinky toe side of the ball of the foot, and the heel. So that you have those 3 points to the floor. And then all you're going to do is release the toes down, and essentially the big, nope, you're not changing necessarily anything else about your body except for your toes being on the floor.
Okay.
And specifically, you want your big toe to become a 4th point.
Okay.
Now notice when you put the big toe down, or the toes down, do you feel like any of those other 3 points change in how they're approaching the floor?
No.
Good. So that's great. That's not always the case, right? And that's different for each person, and then it sort of gives you an indication of what you might need to balance out through practicing this. We're basically reestablishing your foot's relationship to your brain when it comes to that. Because that's really what this is about. It's about reestablishing the autonomic, right, or the non-conscious connection to where you are in space, your proprioception, interoception, big words, but really just big ways of saying the more secure you feel in knowing where you are, the more things you have access to doing. Right? So we think of things like an ankle brace as well. It's just, a little bit of added protection. It's a little bit of extra security or insurance, so to speak. But really what it's doing is it's another thing to decrease your relationship to you and your environment. It's another layer between you and your environment. So what I would be curious to see is if you, instead of always wearing the ankle braces, maybe you played for a few minutes without them, and then if you felt comfortable, keep going. And sort of...
You're asking a lot.
I know! Isn't that a lot to ask? But generally, it's also a good test of, are there things I need to work on? Are there other exercises that, maybe we could do a video about beyond this basic activation of the foot? Because if you put on an ankle brace and really don't ever not wear it when playing that activity, then your body has even adjusted how it functions, which means you're actually more prone to injury.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
So
Sorry about that. I've decided I'm in too deep. I have to just keep wearing ankle braces.
I'm in too deep. There's no going back.
So from my experience, what you're saying is consistent with what happened to me. I immobilized my ankle for weeks, and it didn't get any better. And as soon as I started walking on it again, I felt better within a day. Yeah.
And the beauty of what we just worked on with this short foot exercise is that's something that isn't going to tax.
But I just laid back. I did the Eric method. Most people know the Rice method. But
what is the Eric method?
Elevate, rest, ice,
and compress. He doesn't know what his method is.
It's been a while.
But I like it. You've just mixed up the letters. You're lucky because you have the same. You're an anagram for rice. So another cool, interesting topic as well. If you take a tennis ball or any sort of ball about that size and just rub it on the sole of your foot with very little pressure. This is more to stimulate the outer layers of the tissue. We're not trying to break anything up. It's not myofascial release, but that'll actually stimulate these nerve endings and increase their functioning. So that alone would be a great thing if you're not ready to lose the ankle brace right away. From more of this psychological perspective, probably physically you're fine. What would be useful is to create a better sensory environment, a better muscle activation environment, and that integrity through the whole system. And then maybe eventually you won't want to wear the ankle brace because it'll just be a nuisance. Cool. So thank you guys so much. Eric, thank you for sharing your harrowing tale of injury. And we have a longer version of this that's available as well. We'll also post some links with some resources to some of the places where I've learned some of this information as a practitioner. There are great free webinars through the Evidence-Based Fitness Academy. And generally speaking, Rice method, Eric method, just let your method be one that helps you have good wellness for a long time and good play, right? We want to play whatever sport we like, but especially in the context of these videos, ultimate for as long as possible, hopefully not be sidelined by injury, and know what to do when we do injure ourselves. So thank you guys so much.